this is showing me a side of Patrick Bet David that I'd never seen before. All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is my co-host, Morty. I am your host, Lutch, a.k.a. the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Let's party. Guys, we talk a lot about Patrick Bet David, the Valuetainment podcast on this channel, and we are big fans. However, I came across this video that kind of pointed out something that they have not been doing too well. This is from Joshua Fluke. Definitely check out his channel. Very interesting stuff to do with the corporate world, all that stuff. Definitely a different perspective than I had. And I didn't actually watch this particular PBD podcast, but he gives a take that I did not see coming. So let's check it out.
So Valuetainment just released a new video where they read this Wall Street Journal article titled "The End of Work from Home for Millions of Americans," then talks about how a recession is coming and employees have lost all their leverage.
So you have all these people that are upset about work from home. Well, guess what? With the recession coming, it's about to be go back home. Yeah. And you could get laid off and lose your job.
Well, if you don't let me work from home 4 days a week, I will not work for you because I got 4 other options.
He also says when employees leverage the job market to
but that's true, right?
Their advantage during COVID, it wasn't actually leverage, it was abuse towards companies.
That leverage is over. You are so right. And
it's not leverage, Tom. That abuse is over.
Yes.
How is it abuse? How is it abuse? If you're doing a job and you are completing that job, that just sounds like capitalism, honey.
Companies felt abused. The employee thought they had leverage. It turns out,
oh, the company felt abused.
To be fake leverage.
Employees job hopping and making work from home demands were being abusive to companies. In classic Pat fashion, though, he takes it a step further. And he says, remember that time back in COVID when I said, don't quit your job like everyone else?
At the peak of COVID, we talked about how if you can go get a raise, go get it, go do. Do you remember that conversation? Yeah, and I said, don't do it. All of that loyalty, the relationships, all of that, you lost it. It's gone, right?
Loyalty? What loyalty? Do you think your boss has loyalty to you? Do you think if your boss had to cut their bottom line by 2%, that they would have any loyalty to you?
You don't have that anymore. The people that didn't do that, they deserve to be recognized.
Okay, they deserve to be recognized. Were they recognized? And when we say recognized, what do we mean by recognized? A good old pat on the back? Or are we talking about money? The whole reason we go to work.
And they will be rewarded with more work and exploitation. According to this other study from Duke University, managers exploit loyal workers over less committed colleagues. One reason managers prey on loyal workers over others is their belief it's just the price to pay for being loyal.
Those who did do that, they're paying a price today.
For what? Looking out for themselves, taking a better opportunity, going to companies that are a better fit for what they want, and then being included in a mass layoff or told they have to come back to the office. The price they're paying for looking out for themselves. Great. And to back up all these claims, he says it's because he got on a call with his big banker friends, which he can't name.
Let me tell you a crazy story. I can't tell you who, but you know who, and I'll tell you after the call who. 2 of these biggest bankers in all of America.
And they all agreed that the market's going to go down.
All the big Wall Street guys are all sitting around saying there's probably a very big, drop off coming up here soon in the next few months. We don't know how bad it's going to be. That's what all of those guys are saying.
Therefore, if you work at home, you're abusing your company.
What? Yeah, and they're very aligned.
And then he said he offered some money to these bankers and said, hey, invest it for me.
We're giving him some money. Give me some options. I'm investing it to things right now. You know what his answer was? We'll take the money and we'll put it in cash. And we're not buying anything right now.
So
cash? I mean, certainly, Patrick Bet David is a better business mind than I am. But is cash not the worst asset in the world right now?
So for some reason, your money is safe in cash where it will get wrecked by inflation
exactly.
Instead, I guess. I don't know. This entire video is wild, really. Let's watch the rest of it.
Work from home era ends for millions of Americans.
There's a quote in here that says these fully remote workers are being slowly asked to return to the office or being moved offshore. But here's the thing. They're going to move you offshore anyways if they want to save money. It doesn't matter. Your desire to go to the office will not affect your boss's decision to keep you employed locally or not.
This is exactly what I meant before. If they have to worry about their bottom line, loyalty goes out the window. It's just business.
Want to outsource? That's what they're going to do.
Apple is threatening to take action against staff who aren't coming to the office 3 days a week, and they're going to monitor your badge to make sure that you do, because they think, quote, with the recession coming, we need collaboration. Oracle is forcing some employees to come back to the office. We've missed the benefit of in-person collaboration. And
It's the same thing. Innovation, collaboration, creativity, open office.
Open, collaborative.
Collaborate. Collaboration.
Very collaborative.
For collaboration.
Helps us be our highly collaborative.
Foster collaboration, where we promote collaboration.
Collaboration.
This reminds me, because I am purposely and deliberately not in the corporate world. I imagine a lot of you are, but I knew from the time I was quite young that I would not fare well in this type of environment. So I very specifically stayed away from that. I probably would be a lot richer if I didn't, but I'm much happier for doing so. Point being, this is exactly how politicians act. They say all of these things to make you think a thing. When it's not actually true, it just benefits them. Am I wrong? Is that not how politicians act? Is that not how corporate bosses act?
It's a very collaborative space for us.
We constantly collaborate.
Where we encourage collaboration and creativity.
You've heard 1,000 times before.
especially as we come into a competitive era.
Come into a competitive era. Oh, because we weren't in a competitive era before. I mean, this is obviously from the home team podcast that they do, where they don't have a guest. They just do their in-house podcast. I never watch those because as interesting and smart and entertaining as I think PBD is, I don't really get much value from this type of talk, not being in the business world or the corporate world. But this is showing me a side of Patrick Bet-David that I'd never seen before.
Translation, recession coming. Let's get in the huddle and get shit done. Amazon's HR chief sent a memo rejected
I mean, it's Amazon. Really? Are you surprised?
30,000 Amazonians, as they prefer to be called.
I doubt that 30,000 people working at Amazon prefer to be called Amazonians.
I was just going to say, are you sure that that's what they want to be called?
They probably don't like that.
We need, here it comes again, collaboration and...
We constantly collaborate.
Where we encourage collaboration and creativity.
Ping pong is one of the funnest parts of my day.
Our arcade game.
Galaga, Frogger, Tetris, Minecraft.
Here we also have our VR room.
Xbox in here.
Over here, we have a game room. I'm a gamer.
Some ping pong, some shuffleboard. We have some pool tables in the back.
Yeah, how are you ever going to get work done if you don't go to this adult arcade, which also has computers and desks?
Have, foosball, pool table, a game room.
Ping pong at lunch.
Ping pong table.
Ping pong table, so.
Pool.
What you heard in there, like...
And don't get me wrong, I love ping pong. I will slap any of y'all at ping pong. But do we need it at the office? And if you have a ping pong table at the office, are you really getting that much done that you can't do at home?
Like 7 times. Collaboration, teamwork, recession, tough environment. Let me tell you, you want to complain about work from home. There are Reddit threads out there right now, Pat, that are warning each other. Hey, if you may have an opinion, but go light on it. You don't want to get targeted. If we have to do a bunch of layoffs and you're on the work from home and you've been kind of pushing back too hard against management, be careful. So there are voices on the...
This is cope. Again, I've never worked in a corporate environment. And this is BS. People who run companies want people who make them money. They don't care where you're working from or how you are getting them that money. What I would imagine is that this is about the fact that these companies have to pay rent on these brick and mortar places. And so they want to take advantage of the fact that they already have to pay for it. Then, if you're in the building, they can look over your shoulder, unlike when you're at home, even though all they should care about is the work that's getting done. They want more control. When we say that the corporations and the politicians are one and the same, Prove me wrong.
Reddits.
Voices on the Reddits.
I'm with it. I'm hip.
He says there are Reddit threads right now, but doesn't talk about what subreddit they're on or show any links or any posts on the screen or anything. The whole argument is be a good little loyal worker bee, and we'll reward you with a job.
So there are voices on the Reddits that are reminding.
There's voices on the Reddits.
Reminding each other, yeah, show your opinion, but I don't know if I want my signature on a petition, because if they're looking for layoffs, I don't want to be seen as a troublemaker.
This goes back to the exact same thing in politics, that you cannot comply your way out of tyranny. Well, I don't want to be seen as a troublemaker, so I'm not going to stand up for what I believe in. As if that's actually going to change anything, if that's actually going to benefit you in any way. It's not. You cannot comply your way out of tyranny. You cannot ass kiss your way into keeping a job that your boss cannot afford.
You're a troublemaker because you would prefer to work at home instead of in the office. This is what they think of you. Otherwise, you're a troublemaker. That's just how it is. You can't have your opinion. Sorry.
Whereas corporations, we're about to go into recession, and they're talking about getting stuff done, driving hard, and building stronger businesses.
Instead of complaining like those ungrateful workers. So silly.
Every one of those guys got on a call and we said, let's use the word collaboration.
Yep.
Let's throw a bunch of words against the wall.
That's what it seems like too. They just took a bunch of buzzwords, threw them against the wall.
All those stories are 72 hours from beginning to end, that everything I pulled. It's all together.
What do you think are the chances they had a call together, that they all spoke to each other?
10,000%.
Okay,
Are you saying that they're agreeing to like manipulate the market and hiring
Probably.
practices and standards and buzzwords and stuff? Because that's kind of what it sounds like you're saying that these companies are doing. Let's get on a call and just agree to bring everyone back all at the same time, and we'll tell them it's because of a recession. And if they don't like it, tough. So corporations are banding together to manipulate the workforce.
Let me tell you a crazy story. I can't tell you who, but you know who, and I'll tell you after the call.
Why does Pat do this? He's like, I'm gonna tell you a crazy story, and I can't verify any of it, but I'll tell you after this when it's not verified to everyone else, but just to you.
Who?
I mean, fair enough. Obviously, you got, sometimes you want to tell a story and you don't want to put people's names out there, but
two of these biggest bankers in all of America.
According to this guy, but he can't tell us who it is.
Very well-known guys.
Just, we got to trust him, bro. They're all very aligned, and they're all saying the same thing, that it's going to be bad, but they don't know how bad it's going to be or when, but sometime soon, something fear-mongering. So then we have Tom here at the end reinforcing some of that corporate loyalty stuff.
What does a mercenary do? A mercenary shows up for the temporary war and then goes off somewhere else because they're paid soldiers.
Yep.
So if people wanted to be mercenaries working for Amazon, and then Amazon now lays them off because they're like, these folks here are dedicated and working.
Employees.
they are not doing that. That is exactly what you are. At any job that you have, mostly any job that you have, you are in, and there was a mercenary. You are going there for a free exchange of your labor for their money. That is what a job is. Loyalty is much further down the list. Do you deserve loyalty, Amazon, or any other company? I notice how that's not brought up at all.
Should act like mercenaries. They shouldn't be loyal. They should do what's in their best interest, what's in their family's best interest, not what's in the company's best interest. I feel like even you would say that.
Man, what goes around comes around.
What do you mean what goes around comes around?
That sounds like a threat.
They didn't do anything malicious to the company by looking for a better opportunity or accepting an offer that better fits their personal preferences or their family's preferences. There have been just as many loyal workers as there have been disloyal workers tossed into the streets via mass layoffs and recessions.
I was just watching a video about how tech companies got in this habit of over-hiring people just because they had the money and because they could. And instead of hiring for specific positions, they would hire people based on skill and then just kind of fit them in wherever they needed them later. And that's why I see all these not failed projects, but projects that just don't really get off the ground. You know, the biggest example would be the Google Glasses thing. That you have people, thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of people working at a company on stuff that they just don't need because they've got the money. But when the recession's coming, as they're talking about here, well, all the loyal workers are going to be saved, but all the self-righteous ones that want to work from home but still get the job done and make you money. Can't have that. Can't have that. What are we talking about, guys? This is not about this has nothing to do with loyalty, and this has everything to do with politics and economics. They're just dressing it up. as corporate loyalty.
According to the Duke study, it already shows there's a negative side to corporate loyalty, and it involves manipulation and gaslighting like this. You quitting a job is not doing something bad. He's basically suggesting because you changed jobs, you got what you deserved if you got laid off or told to come back to the office.
I'll give you a little insight into my own life and how this is directly relevant. Even though I don't work in a corporate structure, I do work for a company. And that first year, I busted my ass so hard because I was told that I could be running, for those who don't know who I'm a dog trainer. And I was told that we're, looking to build a training center in New Jersey. We already had that set up in New York. We're looking to set that up in New Jersey. I'm the first trainer that is being brought on board. And we're going to build this. I'm going to be the head trainer. And then eventually I'm going to run the whole thing. Year goes by of me busting my ass every day, putting everything I had into being a good employee. Then there was somebody else who also worked there. Great girl, but she's a little bit more agreeable than I am. And despite the fact that I worked there longer, despite the fact that I am better with customers, despite the fact that I brought in more money to the company, she became the head trainer. Now, I left out a piece. Why? Why did she get head trainer over me? It wasn't because I was completely slighted. Well, I was, but not in that way. It's because after that year, I was hired just before the year-end reviews. So the first year-end review where you get your raises and stuff, it was pretty boilerplate, nothing really going on. I hadn't really really had the time to, show my value yet. So, I got a basic raise and whatever. So another entire year of me working as hard as I can. And so now we get to the year-end review. I'm like, all right. I've been, doing everything I can, no complaints, putting in the extra hours, doing everything I can. And I go in talking about, okay, inflation is at this rate. My gas is this. I need this in order to not be losing money working at this job. Didn't get it. So loyalty, all of that did was make me stressed and poorer. So I stopped trying. So when the time came to name a head trainer, I was long past this idea that being loyal to the company would have helped anything. And I'll tell you what, the head trainer hates it. Meanwhile, I have the time to spend with you guys. Just saying.
To demonize people trying to do what's best for them. And just because it didn't work out, if they did get laid off or told they had to come back to the office, doesn't mean they're getting what they deserve. But this video exists as propaganda to tell workers otherwise. Watching this video, it's hard not to think, Tom, Patrick, do you guys even know your audience? Do you know who they are or what they want? Like, sure, you think that they're all entrepreneurs and business people and C-suite people, but I'm pretty sure a lot of them are just regular people with jobs that want to be entrepreneurs one day or are motivated by you. And when the show says things like this, it's totally out of touch. I would recommend that you stop stepping on the audience you think that you don't have. Besides, employees can still have leverage even if the market is different. It's all about how they prepare themselves, how they keep themselves up to date. Are they keeping their skills up to par? Are they applying to other jobs? What's that look like? This video is just very off-putting. It's like, sit down, buckle up, and do what your company says unless you want to get fired. Even the people...
And even still, like I just told you, it may not even make a difference. So I thought this was really helpful in getting a good picture. You guys know I love context. And because we talk about Patrick Bet-David a lot, because I have a lot of respect for Patrick Bet-David, and I will continue to cover his podcast, we need to understand who exactly we're dealing with. And I don't have the perspective of working in corporate to understand that the way that Josh and many of you will. So I'm hoping that by you seeing this, you guys can maybe tell me a little bit more about, what this means for your opinions of PBD. I did not expect this. He's very good at making himself seem like the everyman, despite being, this business mogul guy. And again, I still have a lot of respect for him, but this certainly made me look a second time. So what did you guys think? Thank you so much for partying with us, my co-host Morty and myself, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Guys, I am live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Please come check me out. Until then, we are out of here. Peace.